Today's podcast, I, your digital lord and savior, Sigtal Lord, joined with quite the cast of fellows around me. I have from Team Phoenix, Peach. Peach, how you doing?
Hey, gamers.
I have from Nine Lives, Menards, a.k.a. Clagstrong. How you doing?
Doing well, thanks.
Oh, fantastic. And my normal co-host and mid laner extraordinaire for Option 12, Great Beard of Odin. Odin, how you doing?
Oh, I'm just doing lovely tonight.
Oh, that makes my heart happy, man. I want you to have a good day. Well, I want everyone else to just enjoy this podcast. We want to take a little bit of your time to talk about the wrap-up for playoffs, to briefly discuss the awesome All-Stars event that we had, as well as discuss the upcoming finals. There's some huge storylines that are re-intertwining themselves into our Community Cup. We'll hop a little bit into that. Also, a special announcement near the end of the podcast. You don't want to miss it. We'll get going. All right. So first on the docket, we always start the podcast talking about our work with Feeding America, and we're gonna talk about that. But the thing that I want to express is how much fun we had at All Stars the other day. We started out with a great group of 10 players. We had the brief quiz time where we were able to figure out side selection, and then 3 very interesting games. Just being polite about it, where it went from regular tournament draft to ARAM and then to a blind pick finale. It was Team Ninja versus Team Desperado. We had one of the participants with us, Peach. Peach, you played on the winning team, Team Ninja. It was a pretty fun time, wasn't it?
It was. The first game was extra fun. The ARAM game was interesting to just like... I begged and pleaded my team. I was like, please, y'all, don't make me play Jax. So thanks, Ravane, if you're watching, for taking Jax from me. I got a character with the shield, you know, as a support player. I was like, oh, maybe this is fine. But then, like, that third game was like, it was like quite the game. It was like really back and forth, and it felt like more intense and competitive than maybe I think a lot of us thought it was going to. That one felt like there was a lot on the line there, just because like the skill between all of us was so similar, and like all of us are friends and like know each other and play pretty regularly. You know, we have to like one up each other.
Well, blind pick's always hype in my opinion when you know everybody involved. But moments like in Game 3 when Alpha stole the Drake and essentially bought the Desperados back into that game, I was so hype. Being the actual like spectator, the person who was running the camera, like I jumped. I physically jumped out of my seat when that happened. I was so hype. And Idol and Menards, you guys did a fantastic job casting. Menards, what was your thoughts on the games?
Yeah, I mean, overall, it was a lot of fun. Like Peach already said, Game 3, it was a lot of fun with that blind pick, just because you got to see a lot of people playing the mains that they've played throughout the years. So definitely made for a close game. The gold lead stayed pretty, I'd say, even up until the last few minutes of the game. So ARAM was super enjoyable to watch. I definitely thought it was going to be a much faster game, just due to the sheer amount of engage that Team Ninja had. But oh my gosh, Team Desperados, they fought for it. They fought hard. So,
well, fantastic. It was just a fun time all around. We were able to have that event, the Jarvan 1v1 tournament, the Among Us stream, all because of the funds raised by you, our community. When I set those milestones, I knew that we could have fun watching paint dry. So I know that these donations had little to do with the carrot that I dangled at the end of the stick. It was about your care. It was about your commitment to showing the things this community can achieve together. And that means a lot as someone that puts work in to this. And I would love to see us cross the finish line. We have one more milestone left. That is $750. That is us reaching the goal of the cup. If we're able to reach that, I will announce about 2 weeks early the next event for the GMA gaming community. And I know that carrot isn't why we do it. I just want to let everyone know what you will get if we can reach it. So, again, we've beat this like a dead horse, but there are 42 million people, according to Feeding America, in your communities right now that are having food shortages or possibly even going hungry. Every dollar we donate is 10 meals. 10 meals in American communities that help feed and make sure that we all make it out of this okay. Your donations matter, and if you'd like to donate while watching this podcast, you can hit the D down below. But let's add some levity to this. Let's talk and get hype about the playoff matchups that we had. We had 9 Lives versus Blitzkrieg, and Game 1 was Option 12 versus Phoenix. Let's go ahead and start there. We have some players from this pretty exciting matchup. We got to see a lot of different picks, and I want to start with one that really caught my eye. Now, Option 12 did walk away with the victory, 2-0. But this was an exciting game for Phoenix because we got to see some different play styles that I'm not really used to. Like, Peach, you broke out the Tarek. That was a very different style of play for you, considering the amount of carries that you played. But you had some really clutch Tarek ultimates. And if I remember correctly, you even picked up a kill in the bot lane. So it was a fun time to watch. Can you tell me about that matchup and the inspiration for some of your picks, like the Tarek?
Yeah, I know that huge. So when we played Option 12, and this isn't taking any credit away from their victory, because obviously, like, they walked away with the W, right? Super great players, very handsome, as you can see, Odin. But huge is like, he, like, a lot of the things he plays, like, want to get in my face and, like, counters a lot of the things that I play, and it's the same thing with Odin against Greg, right? So we're trying to practice some, like, stuff into that, because we just knew that we needed to play a little bit different against that team. And I know that they like to do a lot of, like, dive comps, they like to, like, force things, they like to jump your back line. In the first game, we really drafted super poorly. They played super well as well, of course, but, like, we didn't really have anything to deal with the, like, Hecarim and stuff going in. So, second game, they kind of had a similar team comp with Zach and stuff, so I was like, you know what? It's Tarek time, baby. So I had been practicing Tarek just to kind of deal with the dive comps, and I think it's good it's kind of lane dependent. I mean, a lot of supports are, but Tarek especially, because I don't know if he's, like, super great right now. But the, like, Guardian procs and being able to punish Prowler when because Prowler likes to step up a lot and be really aggressive, and even if his support's leaving, to go, like, ward and stuff. So we were able to, like, catch him out and burn his flash early and just flash on him, and it's like a guaranteed kill at that point.
Well, it was fun to see. I love innovation, especially people showing a diverse pool. It did end the split for Phoenix, but I don't think you guys have anything to hang your head about. And to be honest, if I was to talk to any member in Phoenix, I doubt any of you are hanging your heads. So thank you for an incredible split. Thank you for your participation, Peach, and the rest of Phoenix. Odin, on the other side of that, you did secure the win, and with the win, you are going to finals. Tell me about that match and what it's like being able to go into finals.
Yeah, well, it's felt pretty good, especially since, I did predict that 2-0 victory going into it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We knew against Phoenix we had to basically play very aggressive and just try to not let up the gas at all, and that's what we did with our comps, where everyone was basically constantly diving in. We were always looking for skirmishes, especially, you guys just talked about that game. We were breaking out with fights at Rift Herald non-stop, and that's what I think was really big turning points for us in those games, were just these huge plays being made at Rift Herald that, got topside ahead, and then, Sladen, this guy's got that series, he had ice in his veins when he came down to all of his smites. He came down so clutch, like stealing away the Rift, and then being Dragon Soul. I don't think I was on that night, but and he was making a lot of clutch swipe plays and steals. It was really a fun series for us. Obviously, everyone on Phoenix, they're all pretty good friends, so it's it's always good to come away with a win against close friends like that, and come away with like, yeah, this week we're better than you. So, so obviously that was a good feeling. And then going to the championships, it's pretty hyped, especially since early in the split we had a little bit of our mental boom here, and being able to recover for that, and now going into the championship and being that team that put us in that low spot, or going up to them is, it's a big challenge. We're looking forward to it, and hopefully having different results.
Well, it was a fun matchup again. Very, very good to see friends. It always takes it to a new level of enjoyment. Pardon my son; he's pretty excited and he's in the room. It's always nice to see that friendly competition. It does take it to a new level, and I think that's one of the things that make our league so special and unique. And then for set 2, we did have 9 lives play against Blitzkrieg. We did see Blitzkrieg walk away with the 2-0. I think that there was most certainly points where that was potentially the closest match. Like, they had lost to Phoenix, but I think those weren't close in hindsight. But these were much closer. I know. Those were much closer. I think the thing that I would like to ask to the member of 9 lives that we have here, Menards, what was it like playing in that set? You guys had a lot of pressure on you, and again, we harken back to this storyline so many times of 9 lives reborn again, and you guys put everything out there. You showed some exceptional pool depth, and I'd like to give you an opportunity to end your split. I don't want to call it a eulogy, but talk to me about your champ pool, and give yourself the going away party you deserve, and your team.
Yeah, I mean, for those of you that don't know, I started as a sub in week 3, I believe. And then from there, it was kind of sub after sub, and then week 5, we kind of had our full team, I believe. I might be remembering incorrectly. But finally, like, everyone was just like, wow, we really have the opportunity to make it into finals. Week 5, we managed to pull it off, and then going into it, like, you took the words right out of my mouth. There was a lot of pressure there. Like, we didn't really practice a whole lot up until the week before finals. Like, we didn't play a whole lot of games together. Then we were pretty consistently playing. But the games themselves, yeah, I mean, game 1, I'll be totally honest, I struggled against the Graves pick with Viego. Again, just kind of get in your face kind of champion, super high damage output. And they deserve that win for sure. Game 2, I kind of realized, like, being a competitive team, they rely a lot on picks and just CC and stuff, and I was like, oh, Olaf is super strong. And I was able to get a couple early kills and just kind of snowball the game from there. So that was game 2 was very enjoyable to play. So at that point, it's 1-1, and then the nerves just shot up even more from there. Going into game 3, I'll be totally honest, the 5 jungle bans was definitely a handicap. But it definitely, it was still enjoyable. Like, I don't play Trundle a lot. I understand his kit rather well. So at that point, I was just like, I just gotta make myself present on the map. Just like repeat ganking J-Dog in game 3. That I felt like was a kind of a turning point in the mid or early game, and then at that point, I think it just kind of turned into our lack of engage is what kind of lost us the game in the end. It's very hard to make picks. I mean, you have an Amumu, you have a Zillion, like you have a Galio, you have all this peel for your team that we just couldn't really bust through. But overall, games were a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, even though we lost. Like that. This is the most fun I think I've had playing League in a long time. So, back to you.
Well, I'm glad we could be the community that provided that. And I think Game 2 was especially interesting because, one, seeing you on the Trundle pick. It showed again. You had said the 5 jungle bans was a handicap, and it is. That's a badge of honor. Like, you got to talk about that every time. Yeah, we were playing in playoffs. I got 5 bans. It is what it is. I mean, if it takes 100 hours to have just above basic mastery of a champion, and you went 5 deep, that's a 500-hour respect ban that they had put on you. That's something. That's a pretty big badge of honor. You have a lot to be proud of. I do say that, but I think the most interesting part of that matchup for me was when Blitzkrieg, where you had locked in the Trundle, and it was very clear to see that Blitzkrieg was looking for an engaged tool. They hadn't picked Jungle at that point. Jungle was pick 5. And despite your Trundle pick, Lord of Admirals opted into the Amumu. I thought that was an interesting pick. I don't think he cared at all about what you were going to play or what their comp was. So I'm excited by those kind of prospects, and I'm also hesitant to see if we see any of that in finals, because that's pretty bold. My esteemed colleagues, Peach, Odin, do y'all have anything to say about that the final set of playoffs?
I definitely thought that series was a real banger, and that series was very close to being a 9 lives victory too. It's especially the game 1. I felt like that was they kind of threw the game away at Baron. That series easily could have went their way. That's how close these series were, and that's really exciting to see for playoff matches. You know, games are being decided in one moment, and that moment's what dictates who won and lost. You know, it's nice to see games that aren't just one-sided, and everything is just revolving around, you know, these plays that are on objectives, and where you can't afford to make that one mistake. And they were close, and it's really good to see someone actually push Blitzkrieg all the way to their limit and see how far they can actually go.
Well, Peach, anything from you?
I mean, same thing. They were really fun to watch. I know they ran a little bit later than some of us are used to, but we saw quite the crowd watching late at night on Sunday, cheering for both teams and players. And I just think that I don't know if I really loved the Syndra bot pick. I thought it was fun, but I think there was a lot riding on that game. I don't know if it would have gone different. I mean, nobody does, but otherwise, I think both teams played super well. And thanks to Menards for even subbing in and Foeden to kind of make 9 lives spooky. You know, you guys made 9 lives spooky. No shade at the people who are on 9 lives already, like Chaosix. If you're in here, you know, girl, I love you. But all the players on 9 lives are great, and then we got these 2 incredible. Super kind, deep champ pool. I think you guys added a really fun dynamic to 9 lives, and it was definitely visible in the games. So, fun stuff.
I agree. No, neither of the teams that didn't make it out of playoffs should be hanging their head. Shouldn't be any kind of shame. You did a lot to get where you were, and you did a lot in those games. So thank you for your participation. But of the 2 teams that did walk away with wins, option 12, Blitzkrieg. It's a pretty hype match, y'all. I am beyond excited to see finals this upcoming weekend. Finals will start at 6:30 CST, and it is going to be one hell of a show. It really is. The thing that comes to mind for me is the LEC. Option 12 definitely are Fnatic. They are the old kings. Prowler, for example, the guy's been in 4 finals. He's got 3 championships under his belt in our community. He with Odin, you're a well decorated player. You're a high performer anytime that you participate, and you guys have new blood with you that have went above and beyond. That have been really from when they interviewed with us, like when we had interviewed Slade and said it's nice to talk and have someone with that surety that comes with being a capable player in a community. It's exciting. And then when you look at Blitzkrieg won the last LCUS. They're coming in hot. I'm excited when I consider the concept of comparing these teams to LEC. I think there's a different level of depth. Like, for example, Goonstomp. Goonstomp, this isn't his first final versus Prowler. Split 2, Prowler reverse swept Goonstomp, who had came in as a sub for that split, and walked away with the championship. It just makes it exciting to see exactly what's going to happen. Well, let me give some other people opportunity to talk. Let's start with our guest Menards. Menards, what are your thoughts about this final coming up this Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, talking from my experience, I haven't had the opportunity. Well, actually, I lied. I'm going to backtrack here a little bit. Playing Option 12, like that game, it was super intense. Like, I'll be honest, like the fasting Senna bot lane, I think, is definitely what got us. It's just the longer that game goes on, the stronger that lane, the Senna Vigar get, and I mean, it's super versatile as well. Like, you offer a good amount of CC, you have the range, mixed damage. It's all there, and you just couple that with a really strong front line, and I mean, it's super hard to bust through again. And then Team Blitzkrieg, I mean, just playing against them this past week, the Goonstomp, Pistol Crab, both super strong solo laners. I think is definitely going to be bad news bears if anyone's caught out, just because their map awareness is super keen. Like, they're there just like that. Like, I could attest to that. That was kind of scary, because all of a sudden it's like you have a Galio ult coming in, and then you have a TP coming in right behind it, and it's just like, holy cow, we're getting collapsed on and fast. So yeah, I think just the quick thinking of Blitzkrieg is going to serve them well for finals this weekend. I think they're definitely going to give Option 12 a run for their money for sure. That's all I got.
Hey, Justin, you're muted on Twitch.
It wouldn't be a podcast without it.
That was quite possibly my Oscar-level performance.
You guys really missed it again, just so you guys know.
I was gonna.
I'm actually. Oh my god! Did you
good.
see this tear? Hold on.
I'd expressed my love, my affection. No, my question. I try not to let y'all hear all the background noise. I'm sorry. The thing that I'd pointed out that Menards had said was he had brought up Pistol Crab. And like I'd mentioned before, Blitzkrieg won the last split of the LCUS with Pistol Crab on the team. Now he's playing against his old team. I think that there is it'd be difficult to ignore the emotions that he might be feeling and the implications that it has on this game. Now, Odin, you're a tenured player with us. You've played against teammates before, and you've been out for blood. Even if it's in a friendly rivalry like we've talked about earlier in this podcast, what do you think he's feeling? Do you think it has implications on the game? And what do you think we can expect from Blitzkrieg playing into this Option 12 squad?
Like, playing into teammates, I don't think many players, like, it affects them too much. Like, I know when you play former teammates, it's more just like, yeah, you just want to beat your friends, regardless if they're teammates or not. You just want to make sure you're the one coming out on top. I think that's how every player feels. I know something that he brought up specifically when I was talking to him. I think that might affect him a little bit more. Is he was telling me how it's weird going from a team that last split he was on as the underdog, and now going to a team that is kind of been built up as the villain of the community, the villain team. And for him, he's like, that's just a really weird plot for him. You know, it's often the whole community is no secret that there's been some controversy around Blitz. Now, and then everyone's kind of built him up as this all this unstoppable villain who's going to take down Blitzkrieg. You know, and that's a lot of pressure to put on players. You know, you're just expected to be performing every week, and regardless who you're up against, it's, you know, this is a team that's expected to win every game, and you know that's pressure. I don't care who you are. It's something every player's got to find on a way to deal with, and it's hard to live up to that hype sometimes.
Very, very. It's difficult. It's difficult in any kind of situation where those expectations are so high. Even though I might disagree with the picturing of Blitzkrieg as villains, and as someone that played on the team named Blitzkrieg, a word with that kind of charge to it, like that level of connotation, yeah, I can understand how it got associated with it pretty quick. But I think you make valid points. I think that I would be feeling, coming off of a championship run and 3 players from that championship team are still on there, I think I would have a little bit more fire in my blood. The iron would be a lot higher. Well, Peach, as someone that's spent a lot of time with a lot of people in this community, but you've spent some time talking to Odin, to Prowler. What do you think is Option 12's mentality going into this? Like, we've all in prior interviews and prior talks and in our conversations with players like Prowler, and even Odin, to a certain extent, there's a certain amount of I am good. I know I'm good. Now it's time for you to learn how good I am. What's happening with Option 12? What do you think's going through their mind? I don't want to ask Odin that. I've got some more for that.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're probably nervous. I mean, warranted, right? They should be. You know, no other team has 2-0'd Blitzkrieg this split except for Team Phoenix. So, I know that you guys have. I mean, that's scary, right? They've lost 3 games this split, 1 to 9 lives, 2 to Phoenix again. Just so we're crystal clear about that. But I mean, I think that, you know, I think that you guys have a great chance, and don't get in your guys' head because, you know, Prowler, this is no shade. He gets a little tilted, you know, and that's fine. He's competitive. All of us are. There's a lot on the line, right?
Yeah.
He's got to break the curse or whatever it is, right? What is it called? The
even split curse.
Yeah. Okay, that's what it is.
They can only win on even splits.
Yeah. So, like, there's a lot on this line, and I think that you guys have a lot. I think you guys have a lot more, like, cards up your sleeve, whatever, than Blitzkrieg does. I think, like, Blitzkrieg is, like, pretty one-dimensional. They're suffocating, right? They take any lead and they run away with it. But you guys have a lot more diversity in champ pools and play styles. So we'll see which one is more important, I guess.
Ashaway bringing up a very valid point, and we're so glad to see you in chat. He's got to try to break our tie in championships. Ashaway is one of the most decorated LCUS GMA gaming player in history. We'd love to see you come back, see that Morg, see that Lux a few more times. I know going into this final, as someone that has been a commentator for finals, that has casted all the way to Game 5, that's played Silver Scrapes twice, I would like to hear it again. I'll say that. I would like to now go into predictions, and I want to start with Odin, because Odin, yours is the most easy to predict. You're calling it for Option 12, but I want to know why.
Yeah, so I think a lot of it's we came back and recovered from, you know, us obviously having that our little bit of a mental boom. I think we've really found playstyles that work for us. You know, being aggressive and really trusting each other just to go in on things. And you know, Godzilla and Slayton have definitely folded into that. And we are finding ways to carry from every position on the map instead of just, you know, one area. We're not relying on 1 or 2 players to be our big carries for us anymore. You know, every player on the team has had pop-off moments. And I think we offer more diversity in all of our roles. And I feel like going against Blitzkrieg, they're pretty one-dimensional when it comes to their bot and their mid lane, with all their diversity really just coming out of the jungle and top lane with Pistol Crab just kind of rolling the dice to see what he's going to play this week. And I think a team that has a lot of options like that, it makes it tough to beat. And we're hoping we can bring it all together this Sunday and put on a good show. As a player, Dr. Shaw, I would like to see us win 3-0. Obviously, I don't think that's happening. I think this is going to be a series that's going to go the distance. I'm betting we're going to get to a 5-game series, and it's going to be an exhausting set, I think, for all the players involved. It's going to be a long night.
There's always a part of me that hopes so. I know having the gift of being week in, week out, being able to talk to you about your own team's performance has been a treat. It's affected what I want to do forward in terms of production, make it more player focused, because you've done a good job on the podcast. And I'm so glad you were here. But the thing that I think you added the most was your understanding of the situation live from the battlefield. And I trust your call there. I trust your call. I'm going to disagree with you though. I do think Blitzkrieg walk away with this 3-2 win. I've been wrong almost every time I predict finals. So take that how you will. But I think that Blitzkrieg walk away with this. I feel like they have one or two things that they excel at, and that's aggressive jungling, as well as some other stuff. I want to give other people the opportunity to talk, but I'll go ahead and place my cards on the table. 3-2 Blitzkrieg. Menards, my dude, who walks away with this victory?
It's honestly super hard to say. Like I'm leaving this one up to a coin flip almost, just because you have two powerhouse of teams going head to head right now. I mean, Pistol Crab is. You asked earlier when you were muted, just what my thoughts were on him. He is shown to have an extremely versatile champ pool, and I think that will come in extreme handiness. But at the same time, like, you have option 12 with Prowler and Huge in the bot lane. It scares me. It scares me playing against him. I can't.
It should be. It's terrifying.
Yeah, it honestly is.
He's grown so much. If you look at his last split performance and then look at that same guy playing the same picks, if you're not intimidated, you have very, very poor understanding of skill, and especially someone that performs under pressure like Prowler.
Yeah. And I mean, again, both the junglers, like you said earlier, both extremely aggressive. Like, they both have really good map awareness. So you see one on one side of the map, the other's in there counter jungling, securing objectives, making their presence known on the map. Like, they're not super passive like you can see some junglers are, like if you play your ranked solo duos, flex, what have you. And then obviously just the carry potential of all the other lanes as well. I honestly don't have a prediction for this one. I think it's going to be super duper close. So I apologize for my lack of insight, but I think it'll be a great set of games no matter the outcome.
Well, I'm okay with it, but the person that should feel pressure is Peach. Peach being the deciding vote for the podcast.
Yeah, Menards, if you could have voted for one, then I could have picked the other one. It would have been like a nice, even little.
I'm leaving you with that.
I don't know either. Menards gets to say that, so I can too, right?
I mean, there isn't an election rule on this. We don't have a standing.
I mean, like I said, like, both teams are super great, and it's hard for me to pick too because, like, I adore all the players on those teams, right? Prowler was like my first my first GMA friend, and like, I play with Odin all the time, and Admiral I've been friends with since he started, and I've gotten to meet, like, play with all the guys on Blitzkrieg, and they're all super nice. And I don't know, like, I want someone to kick Blitzkrieg's teeth in, because like, you know what I mean, like, the narrative this whole split, like, they've just been so, like, suffocating, right? It's like, I want option 12 to win, but I think I'm gonna say Blitzkrieg. but with like a big huge tear rolling down my face as I say it, because I know I can see Odin's face. It's guilting me.
It hurts.
So, you know.
Well, I know that no matter what, as I say week in, week out, the real winner is going to be us viewers, and I think this is going to be a set that we talk about for a long time. A historical one, no matter what. Ravane chiming in, option 12, 3-2. You've got some supporters, Odin. Don't let them down. All right, guys. We are about to wrap up, but I want to, first, before we go, we had hit the $600 donation marker this past week for the GMA Gaming Community Cup Team Feed, Feeding America charity we're working with. At $600, we unlocked MVP voting. Following this podcast, MVP voting will go live. I'm now going to read to you the rules of MVP voting. MVP voting was unlocked when GMA reached the next to last donation milestone. MVP voting is the acknowledgement of skill between peers and teammates. MVP voting is based off of performance in-game that went above the expectations of a player's colleagues and peers. MVP voting in professional leagues is based off of superior teamwork, mechanics, and overall game mastery. Our MVP voting, GMA Gaming's community, should celebrate those traits, as well as drive, as well as effort, as well as level of improvement, all of that in equal measure. Only players who made playoffs are eligible to be selected in the MVP voting. Any player or caster in the Community Cup may vote. Voting closes at 12 noon CST on Saturday, August the 28th. Only Community Cup players, casters, and analysts who have been on stream may vote. Individual votes will never be shared. The only person who will see your full ballot will be me, Commissioner Sigtal Lord, and I will not be sharing your individual ballot information. We might show some aggregate stuff, but your specific votes will never be revealed. So know that you will be in confidentiality. So we'll be sharing that. I think we have more than enough argument for multiple players in the MVP voting to be voted for MVP in their role. We'll have MVP for each role, and then an overall Community Cup MVP. So I hope everyone enjoys the MVP process. Again, this is a celebration of our players from our players. So take that with the seriousness that should be given. It's not for jokes. If this doesn't go well, we won't do MVP again. There's always been hesitation about it. So just please understand this is our first time doing it, and we want it treated with respect. This is our last podcast for the split, really. We are going to have some additional content coming out, but I want to take this opportunity to wrap up. I want to thank Menards first. Menards, you've been a fantastic guest, and the events that we've had you on live mic for, you've been very insightful. Thank you. Anything you want to say to our community?
Yeah, I mean, it's good to be back. Like, I was back in the LCUS when that had first kind of kicked off. Overall, like I said earlier, like, this is a lot of fun. I recommend, like, if you have friends that want to get into it, by all means, I think expanding the community would be great, with the blessing of our Lord and Savior, Sig. But I think it's awesome. It's just great to have a community where everyone can kind of just, beyond just the games, like, getting to meet new people, having fun with them, like, meetups. Like, I know some people actually, like, know each other in real life, so it's awesome to have that sense of community amongst everyone. So And then I just want to thank you for having me. Like, it was awesome that Ace had reached out to me as a sub just before week 3. So it was fun to get back into it.
Well, we're glad you're here, and I expect you to sign up for our next event. Next up, Peach. Peach, as always, community's sweetheart. Talk to me. Wrap this up for you. What would you like to say to your fans and to the community as a whole?
To my fans, this has been like the most like personal split of the two. Being able to like really connect with people on a different level and like go visit people. Like Odin and I got dinner together. When was it, Odin? Sometime at the start of August. It's been really fun, especially like with how hard the year's been with like COVID and stuff, and like life still kind of not being exactly how it was. It's been really nice to like have a thing to like put me into, like put energy and time and heart. So thanks for having me. And yeah, it's been fun as always.
Odin, you've ridden the entire cup in passenger seat with me. I'm thankful. It's been one heck of a ride, and it's been a fun podcast. Anything you want to say to the community?
Yeah, thanks for letting me have me on the podcast. This whole split, it's been a lot of fun for me. And I think Menards and Peach have summed up how great this community is. With everyone, getting that real sense in and out of the game. Finding people to meet up with, finding people who share similar interests. So I'm not going to get too much in that, but I do want to issue out a little bit of a challenge to the community. Sunday is finals. I want to see that stream popping off here. Bring as many people as you can. Let's try to get that view count over 100. I think that'd be pretty hype for finals. You get that chat going, and then obviously send Option 12 your energy.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I like the plug there at the end, folks. As always, I am your digital lord and savior, Sigtal Lord. Thank you for joining us for multiple weeks. Thank you for finishing this run with us as we watch two Titans collide this Sunday at 6:30 CST. Blitzkrieg versus Option 12, wrapping up a monumental cup. Thank you for joining us while we talked about the league. We'll see you soon.